How's it going, guys? Brian here, and today we're going to be doing a video that deviates a little bit from our usual gaming fare. I want to talk about something that I've been taking a look at for like a day or so. Um, After watching a video by Wendigoon on this, I just decided to talk about it pretty much because it seemed really, really interesting and is a nice piece and example of world building by one person. Uh, and here it is. It's the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. And there's a lot of cool stuff with this kind of thing. Let me take a look at and show you what exactly. Of course, we got the poster and everything right here, showing you this entire thing. Wendigoon's video goes into more detail about everything here, so I'll link that video down in the description, and you can take a look at Wendigoon's video. But for what it is, the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park is a national park based in Gumption, Texas, and it was founded. I forgot. It was founded a while ago, but said to be in the earth for a long, long time, way before it was discovered by modern day people. It's something really cool. There's only a few people that have actually talked about this. I think there's only like 2 videos currently on YouTube about Flesh Pit National Park. That's Wendigoon's video, and then there's a archive of one of the of a national emergency uh, broadcast. Flesh Pit. As you can see, there's Wendigoon's video here, and then there's about a geological something happening, geobiological activity. It's kind of interesting, in my opinion. Of course, this is all part of the world building of this entire thing. Apparently, there was some kind of geological event in 2018 that happened, and we don't know exactly what that was. Going back to here, apparently the blog for it updated about 6 hours ago yesterday. Updated yesterday, which was like about a day after Wendigoon's video, and it's got these pictures of inside the side. I think this is the upper. This picture is in the upper visitor center because it's got the gondola tickets taken in 2002, as you could probably see, in some kind of model or representation of the flesh pit. This is taken for on the outside the flesh pit. As you can see, there's the gondola from the gondola tickets. So this kind of proves that it was in the upper visitor center. And this large spike going down is the elevator that takes you down. And here is actually a picture of inside one of the flesh caves in the flesh pit, inside of whatever the super organism is. It's kind of cool. I like the entire whole premise of this entire thing. And once again, I said I'll link Wendigoon's video down below, and you guys can go check a look at. He takes like a full in-depth look at the story and everything, and then brings it in his own his interpretations of what's going on with it as well. Like a lot of this stuff is just interesting world building and everything. Like here's like a found worker badge of one of the workers from Anodyne. I believe this is recovered. Wouldn't be surprised me if this is one of the recoverers from the 2007 disaster. But then again, it says 2005, so it could have been a worker that died way, way earlier. There's also like there's this magazine of Sanctified magazine of the Southern Baptists about certain religions trying to denounce the flesh pit or whatever, exploring the flesh pit. Uh, there's an incident report, different types of even talks about like the different wildlife involved, bristleworms, the cloistropods, the caupopods, this coyote, macrobacterium, paramecium, macrosquito. Oof. You think a mosquito was bad? Macrosquito sounds even worse. It's probably like a giant, just a huge mosquito, sort of like cazadors or something from Fallout New Vegas. Polyps, shambles, white giants, gas bowel. That's probably one of those amalgams. Fungal growth, gangliotoad, the amorphous shame. Ooh, the amorphous shame. That's another thing. I can probably get down to get you to find. Ah, here it is. Amorphous shames are basically just creatures that somehow went into the flesh pit, and then they like evolved basically over time to just be a bunch of massive organs, pretty much, that spends its life feeding off the flesh pit. Look at the, let's see, it went from like a ferret or a weasel to evolving down to lose its skin and bones and just become a massive amalgam of organs and such. It doesn't even need a body. It just needs to survive off of the flesh pit. Also, there's plenty of like national park maps and everything, which I'm hoping they release as like an actual physical brochure in the store here. Move, honey. Get the fuck out of here, honey. Basically, like they have a store here, and you can buy a bunch of stuff. I bought one of the posters, the Legacy poster, of course, and that's gonna be cool to grab. But like this is basically like a bunch of in-universe stuff that's that would have been sold at the national park, such as the info diagrams, these anodyne hats, or this Funderground Halloween, or this Funderground shirt. I sort of want like an adult size version of that. I wish they would have sold that. Or the Flesh Pit roadless rally, about the monster truck rally that was inside the Flesh Pit. This is some cool stuff in here though. There's Caver Coop. He's the mascot of the Flesh Pit before they became an official national park and everything. There's some pictures of the different workers. Here's some park rangers, trail guides, interpretive ranger, maintenance technician, medics, laborer, trail engineer. Trail engineers are basically the ones who helped place the paths on the trail. That's fun stuff. And here's some more of like national park information, like you would find in one of those brochures that talks about park activities and like maps of areas. Like you can even see there's like a Marriott right here. Historic ritual grounds. That's something that's interesting that we haven't gotten into at all in the story, or at least piecing together what's in the story. There's some pictures of Gumption, Texas right now after the 2007 disaster, which killed a bunch of people. Like some oil derricks and stuff from Gumption Water Tower. An anodyne personal transport. I don't even. Oh, they're selling that. This is probably a shuttle that they use to take people to the Flesh Pit from Gumption. As a motor hotel. Overall interesting stuff. There's the Flesh Pit. The Flesh Pit disaster. The 2007 disaster left a lot of people dead, and even more people injured. A bunch of people turned into like amalgamations of. They were trapped in the vertical lift elevator, which sent them upwards. This whole disaster was just basically a whole mess of things. Basically, the park was supposed to have this whole. It was took place on July 4th, 2007. The park was supposed to have this whole big Fourth of July celebration, but it had to cancel it due to rain and everything. So they decided to leave the park open until midnight instead of their usual time of closing at 8 p.m., which was a big disaster because a bunch of functions in the area didn't work properly after the proper time, and like people were rushing to the elevators because at like 8 o'clock the lights are supposed to dim down and then come back on to for the workers to work in there, but due to them not compensating for the fact that they're working till midnight, or the park's open till midnight, people assume that uh, there was something wrong with the park and decided to panic and try to go up the elevators and everything. Also, for some reason, the superorganism, whatever the flesh pit is, decided to almost wake up, and therefore, it basically like coughed and sneezed, and that caused a bunch of geological events, which killed a bunch of people and injured even more people as well. It's really bad. Wendigoon goes into more detail about that in his video, which I said I'll link below. And here's the photo of Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, with a bunch of the anodyne staff and a few of the national park rangers officially, making Flesh Pit a national park. Here's some under construction stuff, pictures of that. It brought Flesh Pit into the national park system in the 1980s, right near the tail end of Jimmy Carter's presidency. Here's a bunch of stuff right here as well. I think I showed you all this anyways. Evolution of the Mystery Flesh Pit National Park. Here, this 1973, it started out as like a mining operation because they didn't exactly know what it was. Then it became its own tourist destination with restaurant, lodging, hiking, and all that. And special adult fun is about the ballast pits and everything, and how can make you in the mood for stuff. Or that's the amniotic. Actually, it's the amniotic spring baths that are probably about there. That here's the national park sign once it officially became a national park. You can see a bunch of different stuff. There's the visitor platform, viewing platform, historic base camp. I'm guessing the historic base camp is when they first broke ground on Flesh Pit and found what exactly was in there. Gift shops, descent pavilion is probably looking over the Flesh Pit. The amniotic spring baths, hotel, ritual grounds keeps coming up, and we still don't know what that is. And there's the parking lots, of course. And here's the current sign that is at the site today, telling people not to go in there because a lot of people died there. Just saying. Here's one of the weapons. It's more like it's actually a anatomical environment multi-tool, which is something that they use to try to build the trails and such for the walls and everything of the thing. But they figured out that this weapon was actually really good against. This tool was really good used to kill the stuff that's actually in the flesh pit. This is another picture that still hasn't been. This is one of the other pictures that still hasn't been explained. It looks like one of the amalgamations or something with an anodyne security being arrested, but we still don't know what it is. This is a report on how the ineffective nuclear deterrence would be against the superorganism. After 2007, it was known as the Permian Basin superorganism, since it's not really known as flesh pit anymore. It's just the cover of it. We still don't know what the full report of that is. Hopefully we get one. Hopefully somebody takes scans of the full report. This is another thing that they decided. Anodyne was also going to use pieces of the flesh pit to make a supercomputer that for home use and everything. It's 50 terabytes of organic tissue memory, 128 gigabytes of RAM, extremely fast computer, even by today's standards. So who knows how much storage that would be, how much stuff you could store on there. Sign of gumption. Of course, there's that emergency alert system that we had right here. Coke heartthrob that was made with amniotic fluids. Amniotic ballast, I should say. I was right. It was the ballast pits. It had has an aphrodisiac type thing. Coke originally had this product until started in 1986, and they decided to discontinue it in 2011. Who knows if they decide to bring it back? It might not be as good, just like how they did with New Coke. AT&T also had a partnership with Mystery Flesh Pit, and they put a bunch of these emergency phones scattered throughout the entire Mystery Pit to allow people to call for help and everything in case something happened. And here is a diagram of all the different organisms and stuff in parasitic fauna you could find inside the flesh pit. Note, just because these look small on paper does not mean they actually are. They are actually macro organisms, not microorganisms, so they're freaking huge. Like this cowpod, or this thing would probably freaking kill you. And there's this gastric bristle worm too. So there's some macrobacterium that would probably instantly kill you. Shrieking cloistropods, greater ballast siren, lesser ballast siren, Venice shamble. Oof. Crazy. They keep loading all these back. Some wildlife safety stuff. It's like an old looking mystery flesh sign. Looks like it was taken years after the disaster, it seems like. Keep going back to like the Gumption stuff, Gumption, Texas and everything. That's where it's all housed and everything. Old mystery flesh sign. There's the amniotic thermal springs and everything. There's again the roadless rally inside of Mystery Flesh Pit. They actually had an off-road jamboree driving through the pit, so that's kind of cool. Caver Coop. Still wanting a adult-sized T-shirt with Caver Coop on it. Talking about the Halloween Carnival. Some of the Ranger utility vehicles and everything here. And I think that's all so far. There's also a subreddit of everything. As I said, there's also this thing, we still don't know what the hell that is. It looks like an amalgamation. Amalgamations are people who get caught in the flesh tissue and they get absorbed into the flesh pit and they get spit back out, and they're like, whatever gets absorbed into the flesh pit gets morphed together. Very few people actually survive being an amalgamation. And here's the gift shop once again, talking about showing all different types of stuff. Also, moving over, there's a Discord as well. A bunch of people talking about a bunch of different stuff. And we have a bunch of people in here, and they talk about general discussion, talking about the 2007 disaster, talking about the actual organism itself, speculating and everything, talking about the many flora and fauna found within the flesh pit, any human developments within the park, theories and speculation, of course, general off-topic stuff. There's also role-playing stuff of being in the universe of the flesh pit. And that's basically a bunch of it on my stuff that I wanted to talk about. This is all like unscripted and everything, so I may have like goofed on some details about the flesh pit and everything, but it's still an interesting topic to look at, and it's a continuing, ongoing story. And I hope more people find out about this, because eventually, once this ends, once the author ends it, they're going to be having a book of compiling every single fact and such about the flesh pit and everything. And I think I'm going to be able to pick that up eventually once it comes out. I hope everybody enjoyed this video taking a look at the flesh pit. It's not as in-depth as Wendigoon's, as I said. I'll be linking Wendigoon's video down below, and he gives you a pretty good overview of the entire story so far of the flesh pit. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you like this video, leave a like down below and subscribe for more stuff, including gaming videos and a bunch of stuff that may be unscripted like this one. Take care, everyone.